हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम अंकित है और मेरे साथ है मेरे सीनियर कलीग विकास सर। ये देश कौन चलाता है या फिर सरकार कौन चलाता है, ये जानने के लिए आज हमारे स्पेशल गेस्ट हैं नवनीत राजन वासन सर। नवनीत राजन सर एक सीनियर आईपीएस ऑफिसर रहे हैं 1980 बैच के, और इन्होंने अपने 35 साल के करियर 35 ईयर्स ऑफ करियर में अलग अलग लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट एंड क्रिमिनल इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज में सर्व किया है। इनका करियर आंध्र पुलिस, सेंट्रल ब्यूरो ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, नेशनल इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी से होते हुए ब्यूरो ऑफ पुलिस रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट तक गया, और इन्होंने रिटायरमेंट बीपीआरडी के डायरेक्टर जनरल की पोजीशन से लिया। तो चलिए सर से बात करते हैं। वेरी वेलकम सर।
थैंक यू सर। अभी जब अंकित सर बता रहे थे आपके बारे में, बड़ा वास्ट करियर, और सर बहुत इन डेप्थ में हमने भी जब देखा। सर एक प्रश्न है आपसे कि जो स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं, जैसे वो आईपीएस अधिकारियों के ऑरा को, पावर को देख के आ जाते हैं, वर्दी को देख के, हमारे यहाँ एक शब्द होता है भोकाल बोलते हैं, वो देख के सर स्टूडेंट आ जाते हैं। लेकिन सर इंटरनली जो प्रेशर होता है स्टूडेंट्स पे, अधिकारियों पे, कई बार स्टूडेंट उसको नहीं समझ पाते। जैसे अभी हमने हरियाणा में देखा कि सीनियर आईपीएस अधिकारी ने उन्होंने सुसाइड अटेम्प्ट किया, इस प्रकार की चीज़ें। तो सर वास्तविकता में जो सर्विस का प्रेशर होता है, सर आप इसको कैसे देखते हैं? वो स्टूडेंट्स जो इस ऑरा को, पावर को देख के सर सामने आ रहे हैं, उनके लिए आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे सर?
देखिए, मोटी बात यह है कि आप कोई भी कैरियर चुनते हैं, चाहे वो सिविल सर्विस हो या कोई दूसरा कैरियर हो, चाहे आप बिजनेस करना चाहें, हर कैरियर के अंदर, हर प्रोफेशन के अंदर अपने चैलेंजेस होते हैं। अब ये अलग बात है कि सिविल सर्विसेज समहाउ रिमेन्स इन फोकस, and people talk more about civil service, pressure on civil servants, and they don't talk about pressures on other things. Corporate sector में भी बहुत सारे pressure होते हैं, आपको profit लाना है। Now it is your mental makeup, your background you are bringing up, which molds you.
Yes, sir.
There are people who are able to face challenges with smile, with I will say, they understand the challenges, try to meet them, and on the other hand there are some people who gave way under the weight of challenges. So it will vary from person to person, but I will certainly say that a civil servant has to be more alive to the pressures, and he has to manage, because his basic job is public service delivery.
Yes, sir.
Now if he loses the focus on public service delivery and he gives more weight to the pressures which are being brought on him, so he will be a failure as a civil servant. So this is the art which a civil servant has to cultivate.
सर प्रेशर से एक क्वेश्चन याद आता है। आपने एक बहुत ही हाई प्रोफाइल केस में आप पार्ट थे, दैट वाज द सिक्योरिटी स्कैम, पॉपुलरली कॉल्ड एज हर्षित मेहता स्कैम। अब इस स्कैम में एक जो अक्यूज थे वो हाई नेटवर्थ इंडिविजुअल थे। उन्होंने जो लॉयर हायर किया वो काफ़ी ही रिनाउड है लीगली, राम जेठमलानी जी। अब इस केस के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के समय काफ़ी एलिगेशंस डिफेंस के तरफ से लगाए गए गवर्नमेंट पे, यहाँ तक कि हमने ब्राइब दिया है। तो ऐसे पॉलिटिकली चार्ज्ड एनवायरनमेंट में जहाँ पब्लिक प्रेशर है, पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर है, तो इस प्रेशर को एजेंसी और उसके इन्वेस्टिगेटर्स कैसे डील करते हैं?
देखिए, a good investigator is one who focuses on unraveling the truth. It's a challenge. Always there will be pressures. People talk about political pressures in investigation. It will always be there. Any political boss will like to ensure that his, जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं छवि, वो धूमिल नहीं होनी चाहिए।
Yes, sir.
So he will go beyond his limit to ensure that he doesn't get the flack, and it is somebody else who gets the flack. Now it is up to a civil servant or a police officer or an investigator that he must stick to the legal mandate given to him, that he has to unravel the truth and he has to bring the culprit to justice. So it will, I'll be wrong to say that there are no pressures. There will be pressures, but I as a police officer, I as an investigator must learn and must ensure that I don't give way under the pressures and compromise the objectivity.
सर सिक्योरिटी स्कैम में ही एक पार्ट था पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर का, दूसरा पार्ट था इन्वेस्टिगेशंस और इन्वेस्टिगेटर्स का नो हाउ अबाउट दी फाइनेंशियल मार्केट। तो क्या सीबीआई इक्विप्ड थी इस टाइप के केसेस को उस समय 1990s में डील करने के लिए, और अगर कहीं लैक ऑफ अवेयरनेस था अबाउट सिक्योर तो इस गैप को कैसे फिल किया टू डील विद द इन्वेस्टिगेशन?
ये वास्तविकता है कि पुलिस को भांति भांति के केस इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने पड़ते हैं, और कोई भी पुलिस ऑफिसर ऐसा नहीं होता है जिसको सब चीज़ों का ज्ञान है। अगर मैं अपने कैरियर में ही देखता हूँ, आई हैव इन्वेस्टिगेटेड डॉक्टर्स, आई हैव इन्वेस्टिगेटेड इंजीनियर्स, वेयर एज आई वॉज ए स्टूडेंट ऑफ इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन एंड नॉट ऑफ, आई डोंट नो ABC ऑफ मेडिसिन, आई डोंट नो ABC ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, बट व्हेन आई हैड टू फेस दिस केसेस, then I was ready to go and learn the basics, because if I don't know the basics of the subject matter which is under investigation, I'll not be able to, unravel the truth behind an incident or an event. So when CBI took over the investigation of Harshad Mehta security scam, it's a fact that most of the officers had no idea, and initially the entire set of officers were groping in dark. They didn't know what is security was, how trading takes place, because none of the officers involved would have traded in securities or had the experience of stock market. Yes. And moreover, they had no idea how the financial world works. So what we did was, when we faced the challenge, we co-opted services of chartered accountants, we co-opted services of income tax officers who had much better idea about security dealings as compared to us, that is CBI officers. So it was a slow and a gradual process. Then slowly we built a team which consisted of many other experts other than police officers. So here I will digress a little. You see, unfortunately in India, even today, the concept of team investigation is missing. Whereas in some of the developed countries, you have a concept what is known as team investigation. When any incident takes place, the police officer definitely leads the investigation, but he is associated or he is assisted by a number of experts in the domain.
Yes, sir.
Now, you know that so many cyber offences are taking place. How many police officers are aware of how the cyber world works? And it's a real challenge.
Yes, sir.
It's a real challenge. Not only it's a challenge for police officers, it's a challenge for people who were cyber experts, say 20 years ago, because the technology has changed so much.
Yes, sir.
That a person who was say a BTech in information technology from IIT 20 years ago, maybe unless he has updated himself, he will find it difficult to understand the technology which is there. Today we are talking about quantum computing.
Yes,
we
sir.
are, there is so much of change.
Quantum tunneling में भी sir Nobel मिला है.
Yes, Nobel Prize has been given recently, and so many developments are taking place.
Yes.
So there is a need that we co-opt the domain experts. It could be financial market, it could be cyber expert, it could be stock market exchange, or it could be, there are so many incidents of bridge collapse. You're in
Civil
UP or Bihar, there are so many bridge. Now, if a police officer is asked to investigate a bridge collapse case, it requires some basic understanding of structural engineering, how a bridge is designed, what kind of material goes in. So it requires that you have to understand. So there is a need. So same thing happened in Harshad Mehta case. We had to co-opt people, and that is the only way that CBI could unravel. Initially, yes, it was a challenge, but then we got over it.
सर आपने सिक्योरिटी की बात की तो एक प्रश्न है, दो पार्ट है वैसे पहले पार्ट में थोड़ा सा क्लीशे ही है, लेकिन बहुत स्टूडेंट पूछते हैं, तो मुझे लगा कि हु बेटर देन यू सर। टेररिज्म की बात करते हैं, नक्सलिज्म की बात करते हैं, रेडिकलाइजेशन की बात करते हैं, अभी आपने सर साइबर अटैक की बात की, बहुत सारी समस्याएं हैं। आपकी नज़र में सर इसमें सबसे बड़ा थ्रेट क्या है भारत की इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी को, एक? और सर दूसरा, नेपाल में हमने जेंजी विद्रोह देखा, अभी भारत में लद्दाख में एक टर्म बड़ा फेमस है डीप स्टेट का कॉन्सेप्ट, क्या ये भी एक रियल और बड़ी समस्या है सर डीप स्टेट की? सर दो प्रश्न।
हाँ, पहली बात ये है कि जो टेररिज्म और आप नक्सलिज्म और इनकी बात कर रहे हैं, आज की डेट में टेररिज्म और साइबर वर्ल्ड, it has become very overlapping because any terrorist, he is using the facilities provided by the cyber world to, whether he is kind of propagating his ideas to the young generation,
yes sir,
whether he is making people gather at a place, he is misleading them, he is misguiding them, he is brainwashing them, and so these are two overlapping things. So terrorism plus, if I put it, not a correct term, but if I put it, cyber terrorism are the major challenges which we are facing today. And coming to your second question, the deep state, see, unfortunately for India, we are surrounded by some very unstable, if I put it very unfriendly countries, so those countries, because they have their own internal problems which they are not able to sort out. If we take our western neighbor, they have a lot of economic difficulties, economic problems. They are not able to, they don't manufacture anything. They, so the public is very poor. I happened to visit that country some years ago, and because my parents came from that part of that time it was India, combined India. So what they told me, I asked them, how does it look? So they said, it would have changed, you will not be able to recognize what we saw. Anyway, this is how we lived, or this is how the town was. And lo and behold, even after 60 years,
yes sir,
there is no progress in that country. There is no progress in that country. So when they have their own problems, they will try to keep their own public under the impression that it is somebody else who is responsible for their problem. So they will keep fomenting troubles in India. So, and that's another challenge, and I think it will be a challenge for some more years to come, till we find a way out, which appears to be very difficult at the moment.
Sir, you said one thing. Pakistan does not manufacture anything. May I correct you? It manufactures terrorists.
Yes.
सर, टेररिज्म से याद आया, आपने एक लंबा ड्यूरेशन 5 साल के अराउंड NIA में भी स्पेंड किया। पहला क्वेश्चन, वर्किंग स्टाइल NIA का CBI से कितना डिफरेंट है? और दूसरा, NIA के इस वर्किंग स्टाइल की वजह से हाउ इफेक्टिव हैज़ इट बिन in Jammu and Kashmir to deal with terror related, especially terror financing related cases?
See, the investigation, whether it is in NIA or in CBI, it's the same. The law is the same, the procedures are the same, and ultimately the aim of the investigator is, as I am repeating, to unravel the truth. So there is no difference in the investigation as such. But the essential difference is that CBI normally comes into picture in most of the cases at a much later stage. I am not talking about corruption cases among central government employees.
Yes,
I am talking about other cases, because the CBI gets its jurisdiction on the consent of the particular state, whereas the NIA Act, which was enacted under Defence of India entry in the Union list. So it has pan-India jurisdiction, and it does not require consent of any state for investigation to be taken over. So that is the advantage which NIA has, that in case any major terrorist incident takes place, the investigation can be taken over in in matter of days, if not immediately. But on the other hand, CBI, the cases come to it for investigation after years, 1 year, 6 months, other because of political considerations or because of public pressure or because of cases are handed over to it by courts. So that is the difference. When you take up investigation right from the day one or in the first week itself, then you are the master of investigation. You know where to collect evidence, how to collect evidence. But when you take over the investigation after 1 year or 6 months, much of the evidence is often lost and you have no way to recover that evidence. So that's a major challenge. So NIA has an advantage on CBI as far as investigation is concerned. But then the basic process, basic principles of investigation remain the same. That's one. Coming to the second part, that is terrorist financing cases. Yes, that is one aspect which NIA has taken up right in the beginning, and it has investigated number of terrorist finance cases. Now, in those cases, NIA has developed some expertise, but the challenges remain, because you see the money comes, the finance, it comes in a different manner. It comes in a cryptocurrency, it comes in form of over invoicing of bills, it comes in kind of trading, some frauds take place and the money reaches the terrorists. And then the other countries, they have their own sympathizers or people who become the conduit for carrying the money. So NIA has been successful, but still it has long way to go, because these are not very simple investigations. These are very, very challenging investigations. When the the movement of money, when you have to trace and you have to link it with people who send money,
Yes, sir.
and people who receive and then distribute money, because they also employ all kind of techniques to cover their tracks. So it's this thing, and it will continue to be challenged, but I am sure that NI will continue to work and develop expertise on this, and they will be able to deliver results in this area.
सर, जब आप इसकी बात कर रहे थे और थोड़ा बैक स्टेज भी आपसे जब बात हो रही थी, तो एक शब्द था फेक इनकाउंटर, जिसकी हम लोग बात करते हैं। आजकल बहुत से स्टेट्स में या सोशल मीडिया के जब ट्रायल्स की हम लोग बात करते हैं, तो सर फेक इनकाउंटर को बड़ा ग्लोरीफाई किया जाता है। इवन एक टर्म इस्तेमाल होता है कि ग्लोरिफिकेशन ऑफ एनकाउंटर्स। सर, आपका तो एक लंबा अनुभव रहा CBI में भी, NIA में भी, और एज एन IPS ऑफिसर इन आंध्रा। सर, कैसे देखते हैं आप इस चीज़ को, जो ग्लोरिफिकेशन होता है एनकाउंटर का, कितना सही कितना गलत, या कई बार सही होता है सर, आपके विचार से?
देखिए, एनकाउंटर विद इन इन्वर्टेड कॉमर्स is something which should not happen, which I will say must not happen. The cases where the criminals attack you, or there is a attack on the police forces, are very rare, and in those cases you don't require to justify retaliation. But cases where you catch people who are, maybe they are criminals, maybe they have done very big crimes, they have indulged in very big crimes. The law does not give you any authority to, inverted commas, eliminate them. You have no right.
Yes, sir.
And you may think that you have achieved something, but in the process, I think you are losing the battle against the criminals. So the encounter should never be glorified. Encounter should be dealt with a very heavy hand, I will say, because police officer, as a police officer, I am not authorized to kill somebody. Yes, if I am attacked or if you are attacked, you have protection of law under self-defense.
Yes, sir.
That's a different thing altogether. But where the person is in your custody, as he is in your protection, and you kill him because he's a criminal. You think he's a criminal. Maybe he's a criminal, yes. But the problem is, we have to also ensure that our legal system also responds. Our legal system is not responding. It is very slow. So there is a demand from public because public thinks somebody, God forbidden, some girl is raped or molested or some dacoity take place, accused or caught, but the trial will run for ages and he or she may never get any punishment. So the public the perception among public is that there will be no justice, the accused will never be punished. So it is extremely important for us to reform our judicial system. We have to expedite trials. We have to bring people to justice as early as possible. So till that is done, so this glorification or demand from the public to deliver quick justice will be there. So we have to ensure that police officers don't misuse their power. At the same time, we have also ensured that culprits don't go scot-free or they are punished quickly and within a limited framework of time.
सर, अभी विकास सर ने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा था, मतलब हम समराइज कर सकते हैं कि कई केसेस में और कई इंस्टेंसेस में पुलिस एक्शन बिकम्स टू बी ड्रिवन बाय पब्लिक परसेप्शन और व्हाट द पब्लिक वांट्स. सीबीआई ने कई सारे हाई प्रोफाइल केसेस इन्वेस्टिगेट किए हैं, इंक्लूडिंग आरुषि तलवार मर्डर केस, सुशांत सिंह राजपूत सुसाइड केस. क्लोजर रिपोर्ट, चार्जशीट से अलग पब्लिक परसेप्शन किसी एक इंसान या किसी सेट ऑफ पीपल को अक्यूज्ड मान के बैठी है, और ये है बिकॉज ऑफ मीडिया ट्रायल. और इन केसेस में और इन इंस्टेंसेस में एजेंसी कैसे मीडिया ट्रायल से अलग होके और कैसे उससे अफेक्टेड हुए बिना इन्वेस्टिगेट कर सकती है, इस पर आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे?
See, देखिए, unfortunately for past few years, after the proliferation of media, so many 24/7 channels.
अब तो सोशल मीडिया भी है.
Social media, who needs to be fed continuously. This problem has become really acute. With so-called experts, so-called news anchors, they keep rattling, theories, hypotheses on an incident which takes place. So, which molds the public perception. Fake videos,
Yes.
fake narratives are being spread. That is really playing a havoc. Now, I think Supreme Court also did lay down some guidelines as far as media coverage is concerned about investigation of cases. I personally believe, and I personally have during my career avoided media when investigating cases, or even if one has to share, you share the bare minimum details which will not impact your investigation. Some police officers also unfortunately get swayed and they come to the media and talk and share things which normally should not be shared by a police officer with the media or public. Because if you share, then you also get emotionally impacted and you also start building hypotheses as a police officer, as an investigator, which may ultimately result in wrong conclusions, wrong results, or you may try to achieve something at the cost of objectivity, which has really become a challenge. So I think there you need the role of training is extremely important. The police officers have to be trained they are trained, but I think emphasis has to be there that they have to be objective. They have not to be impacted by what public is saying, they are not to be impacted what media is talking about. And that's the only way these things can be handled.
सर, आपने भी पुलिस स्ट्रक्चर की बात की तो एक क्लासिकल क्वेश्चन मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा है, मतलब जब हम स्टूडेंट थे या जब आप भी रहे होंगे सर, पुलिस रिफॉर्म की बहुत बात होती है। और हम अगर भारत में स्ट्रक्चर को देखें तो सर सिपाही लेवल पे अलग भर्ती है, दारोगा लेवल पे अलग भर्ती है, डीवाईएसपी लेवल पे अलग भर्ती है, आईपीएस स्तर पे अलग भर्ती है। 4 अलग अलग स्ट्रेटा मोस्टली हमको देखने को मिलता है। और ऐसा कई बार कहा जाता है सर कि जो एक अपर स्ट्रेटा का अफसर होता है वो लोअर स्ट्रेटा के अफसर की जो दिक्कतें होती हैं, जो इश्यूज होते हैं, कई बार उनसे कंसर्न नहीं होते हैं या उन्होंने एक्सपीरियंस नहीं किया होता तो वो समझ नहीं पाते। सर जैसे विदेशों में ऐसे बहुत से एग्जाम्पल्स हैं कि एक यूनिट लेवल पे भर्ती होती है सभी की, और वहाँ से प्रमोट होकर वो अल्टीमेटली अधिकारी लेवल तक जाते हैं। आपको क्या लगता है सर कि ये जो 4 लेयर का स्ट्रक्चर है, इवन अलग से कुछ लेटरल एंट्रीज की भी हम लोग कई बार देखते हैं, ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है क्या सर ये पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स को कहीं ना कहीं रोक रहा है? आपके हिसाब से सर एक बेहतर सॉल्यूशन क्या होना चाहिए? क्योंकि सर अभी भी मतलब स्टूडेंट जब पढ़ते हैं, यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन करते हैं, तो पुलिस रिफॉर्म एक टॉपिक पढ़ते ही पढ़ते हैं और ये प्रश्न बार बार सामने आ जाता है यक्ष प्रश्न की तरह। सर
देखिए, पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स as you yourself said have been a topic of discussion. There have been so many police commissions,
Yes,
so
sir.
many bodies were constituted to study, so many recommendations. The Supreme Court gave its famous Prakash Singh judgment.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, nobody is interested in real police reforms. You know, police reforms means, as I told you, that there is no concept of team investigation. That's also part of police reform.
Yes.
That we must understand that how police can investigate. Supreme Court itself said you bifurcate the law and order wing and the investigation wing. A very simple recommendation, but it has not taken place in any of the states. No state has a separate investigator structure and a separate law and order this thing. Coming to your this thing that there are recruitment at different levels, you know, we must understand that India is a very huge country, unlike those smaller countries where you could get recruited at one level and rise, because there the police itself is very small, the population is very less, and the police is very, and there the challenges are altogether different there. This country has a different challenges, and we need a huge police force. So you need people to supervise, oversee, people who have, you know, a much better understanding of the social milieu, the economic problems, because all crime and all these things are interlinked. They cannot be bifurcated. If you have an economic, say Bihar, no, economic development has not taken place. So there will be more crime because he has to live, he has to eat. So he will do something which is perhaps not correct. So if he is economically independent, he will not indulge into you know, kind of petty crimes or bigger crimes. So we have to have a structure, but yes, there is a need that the difficulties or challenges of the lower staff must be understood, and slowly now, since there is over the years the academic qualifications, our people are better educated, you know, we still continue to recruit constables who are matriculate, who perhaps have not seen the word, who perhaps don't appreciate or don't understand. So there is a need that the police officers, their initial education, induction qualification should be increased. Coupled with that, those officers need to be trained and retrained. Unfortunately, in India, you get recruited, there is only one training, and after that there is hardly any training. He isn't deployed because things are changing. The social strata, the social milieu in which he lives is changing. The type of crimes which are taking place is changing by the day.
Yes, sir.
When I got when I entered IPC, the kind of crimes which were taken place were typically local. The criminal which operated in a given town where one was working was 60-100 kilometers.
Yes.
Today the criminal travels, he comes by, he flies, and through cyber world he sits in USA and he commits crime in India. So the whole thing has changed. So there is a need, and then another which I have been trying in my own way during my career. I I don't know, I succeeded a little, but I failed to a large extent, that we have to identify people who are bright and who can be, inducted at a higher level on a faster pace. That there are people who can travel faster, not the usual promotion which takes place by seniority. So the merit has to be given due weightage, which is not being done in police. So the merit has to be given. So you can have constables who are these days, well qualified, even people with engineering degree, people with master's degree are becoming constables. So some of them may be very good. Some of them may be very knowledgeable, or they can be trained. So some of the good people, they must be allowed to travel upwards on a faster speed than others. I think that is required. And then, of course, needless to say that the difficulties, challenges, problems of the police force have to be understood, especially by the bosses. Means that is extremely important. If that is ignored, our problems will continue. And coming back to the police reforms, there has to be political will. There has to be political will. And unless we do it, so we will continue to face problems.
सर हर मेंस के उत्तर में ये लिखते हैं कि पॉलिटिकल विल की कमी के कारण इस प्रकार का होता है सर.
सर अभी इंडिया में अलग अलग इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज हैं, क्राइम रिलेटेड सीबीआई, फाइनेंशियल मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग रिलेटेड ईडी, टेरर रिलेटेड एनआईए, और यूएस में एक ओवरआर्चिंग इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी है फेडरल ब्यूरो ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन. क्या इंडिया में इंस्टेड ऑफ डिफरेंट और हैविंग मल्टीपल इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज, क्या इंडिया को एफबीआई स्टाइल एक अम्ब्रेला इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी की ज़रूरत है, और अगर है तो इसके क्या फ़ायदे और इंस्टीट्यूशनल चैलेंजेस होंगे, आपको क्या लगता है?
देखो, दैट्स a difficult question which you are asking. In the sense, there is no ready-made answer to that. As I said, India is a federal country, and police, and therefore the investigation is basically state subject. So you cannot bring a law without amending the constitution, where you can have an agency which will have overall power or overall umbrella investigation agency. NIA and ED, for that matter, these are two agencies which have pan-India jurisdiction. They can take over the investigation because of the either like NIA was enacted in the defense of India, and the ED because of the money laundering, which because of the United Nations Convention, using those basis, these agencies have been brought into existence. But these agencies have also been challenged. Now the NIA constitution is itself under challenge in Supreme Court. It's a different thing. The matter has not been taken up by the court for a number of years. But the very existence of NIA is questioned, whether it is legally can have pan-India jurisdiction or not.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है और वो थोड़ा सा पर्सनल होगा शायद आपके लिए. सर जैसे हम सब प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में बहुत से केसेस को देखते हैं, हमारे लिए तो अलग होता है सर, आपके लिए तो बड़े टफ केसेस रहते होंगे. कोई ऐसा भी सर केस रहा जहाँ पे जिसने आपको इमोशनली भी बहुत ड्रेन किया हो, बहुत आप परेशानी में रहे हों उस केस के दौरान, या कोई एनेक्डोट ऐसा जो आप शेयर करना चाहते हैं? क्योंकि स्टूडेंट्स बहुत ज़्यादा उसको ईगर रहते हैं. रियल लाइफ इश्यूज जो प्रेशर वो तो आपने देखा है, तो कोई ऐसा केस हो जो सर आप बताना चाहते हो?
नहीं, ऐसा मतलब मैं जहाँ तक अपना व्यक्तिगत मेरा प्रश्न है, मैंने एक प्रिंसिपल बनाया कि मैं कभी किसी केस से इमोशनली अटैच नहीं हूँ. क्योंकि जब आप किसी केस से इमोशनली अटैच हो जाते हैं तो आपकी जो थिंकिंग है या आपका जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने का तरीका है, दैट विल गेट इम्पैक्टेड. सो दैट आई वाज lucky, maybe God's grace, I did not get involved in any case in any emotional way. But then I had my own challenges. Number of difficult cases where one could not get a lead for number of days or months. So you do get perturbed, we are working so hard and it is leading nowhere. So there is a urge that we must find the truth, or we must trace the culprit, or who did this crime. But in the process, I was always alert and alive that in order to achieve something, I shouldn't lose my objectivity. So that was a struggle which in many cases one faced. So another challenge which I faced was, when I told you in the beginning, we were investigating a case against a very senior head of the department in a medical college, a very famous, I will not name the college. Of course, that case is reported in newspapers also. He was a heart surgeon of repute. So we had to interrogate him because he was the accused number one in that case. So I had to take classes from senior doctors. I have to understand the basics and plus the protocol by which surgery is done, surgery is performed, how record is kept, what are the protocols they follow. So it was a challenge because you don't know the subject and you have to understand, and you also have the difficulty because you are facing a man who is an expert in his field. आप तो बिल्कुल नो सीखिए, आपको तो ABC भी नहीं मालूम है इसका. तो वो चैलेंज था. जैसे हर्षद मेहता के केस में भी था, दो आई फॉर्चुनेटली वाज बेटर इक्विप्ड देन अदर्स इन CBI because I was fresh from a management college, so I had much better idea. But then those challenges have been there. And in cyber cases, you know, we were investigating a case against a very senior police officer of manipulation in recruitment, and which was done, the manipulation was done only on computers, and IIT Roorkee happened to be their associate, when they were processing the matter. And we had to struggle for almost a year to break open the case. It took us, you know, a lot of hard work, a lot of challenges. We have to consult a lot of experts, talk to them. So those challenges have remained. But emotionally, I never got attached to any case. So I must say I was lucky.
सर जाते जाते एक सवाल, CBI को सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने केज्ड पैरेट बोला था, और इस केसेस में कई बारी जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन होता है वो अपोजिशन गवर्नमेंट रूल स्टेट्स में होता है, और इसको अपोजिशन रूल गवर्नमेंट ये पोर्ट्रे करती हैं कि ये सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का इंटरफेरेंस है टू क्रिएट पॉलिटिकल इंस्टेबिलिटी. तो क्या सही में इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज, बीट CBI, ED, ये सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का वेपन है अगेंस्ट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट? इसमें कितना सच है?
देखिए, चाहे वो स्टेट पुलिस हो, चाहे वो CBI हो, चाहे ED हो, ये कहना गलत होगा कि पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर्स नहीं होता है, या पॉलिटिकल जो बॉसेस हैं वो एक पर्टिकुलर तरह का रिजल्ट चाहते हैं. ऐसा नहीं कह सकते हैं कि उनका काम है, उनका अपना एक उनकी व्हाट शुड आई से, उनकी
इंटरेस्ट है उसमें,
उसका इंटरेस्ट है. उनको एक क्लास को सेटिस्फाई करना है, उनका वोटर्स जो है उनको करना है, उनको अपनी छवि बनानी है, उनको अपना करना है. तो वो हमेशा पुलिस के ऊपर, चाहे वो स्टेट पुलिस हो चाहे CBI हो, वो इन्फ्लुएंस लाएंगे, कोशिश करेंगे. ये डिपेंड करता है पुलिस ऑफिसर पे जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहा है कि वो कितना ऑब्जेक्टिविटी मेंटेन कर सकता है. मे बी इट्स ही हैज़ टू पे अ प्राइस फॉर इट, वेदर इन टर्म्स ऑफ ट्रांसफ़र, whether in terms of repatriation from CBI, because CBI, as you know, most of the officers are on deputation. So the state government, they can always send you back, and so is the case with NIA. Most of the officers on deputation. ED में भी बहुत सारे लोग deputation पे आते हैं, तो you can always be sent back to your parent department. So if you are ready to face the challenge, then law is always with you, that you go by what is required from you under the law. So if you do that, now then there are officers who give way, there are officers who don't give way, and they get maybe they are able to survive, or maybe they get thrown out of the system. They are thrown on a nondescript kind of post. So be it. So that's the way.
सर इस सेशन को बहुत ही बर्डिंग एस्पिरेंट्स देख रहे हैं जो कहीं ना कहीं फ्यूचर में जाके पुलिस सर्विस में आएंगे, और इंडिया को टेक सेवी, डायनामिक एंड ऑनेस्ट पुलिस ऑफिसर्स की ज़रूरत है, तो उनके लिए आप कोई मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
देखिए, मैं एक ही मैसेज देना चाहूँगा जो बडिंग स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो सिविल सर्विस ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं, बी इट ए पुलिस सर्विस और बी इट ए एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस. You must come with a very, very clear understanding that you are joining service for public service delivery. And if you cannot sacrifice your self-interest for doing your job, then better not join civil service. There are other careers available to you. You can go and join there. Because when you join, the society has a lot of expectations from you. You have been educated on public's money in good colleges. A lot of engineers join civil service. A lot of doctors are joining civil service. The government, for that matter, we, the public, have spent a lot of money on you to making you a doctor, to making you an engineer. So don't join the service because you have your self-interest. It takes priority. If you have that, I think you can make much bigger money, much better life in other careers rather than joining a public service. So that should be very, very clear in your mind that if you are joining civil service, people expect you to deliver justice, and you will do a lot of good not only to the nation but to yourself.
कंक्लूजन की तरफ बढ़ते हैं.
सो आपने वासन सर को सुना. वासन सर के अकॉर्डिंग अगर आप सिविल सर्विस या पुलिस सर्विस में जाना चाहते हैं तो आपका सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट यहाँ है, पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट यहाँ है, नेशनल इंटरेस्ट यहाँ है, तो ये आप ध्यान में रखिएगा.
सर बस वही चीज़ की बहुत से नुआंसेस हमने समझे, सीखे, और इनफैक्ट जब हम लोग बैक स्टेज भी बात कर रहे थे तो बहुत सारी चीज़ समझने को मिली. देखिए, ये जो इंटरव्यूज़ कंडक्ट होते हैं, जैसे इंसिग्निया के प्लेटफॉर्म के तहत जो हम सारी बातें कर रहे हैं, उनका उद्देश्य क्या है कि सिविल सेवा को आप बुनियादी रूप से बेसिक लेवल पे समझें. ठीक है, जब हम एक कोटेशन पढ़ते हैं कि गो बैक टू वेदास, बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स क्या हैं, अगर वो आप नहीं समझेंगे, आप ऊपर से फौरी तौर पे और अफॉर्मिंग देख के आप चले आएंगे तो बड़ी दिक्कतें होती हैं. और एक बात जो हमने समझी सर के पूरे एकेडमिक रिकॉर्ड को देखते हुए और शानदार अनुभव को देखते हुए कि व्हेन देयर इज अ विल देयर इज अ वे. आशा करते हैं कि ये जो इंसिग्निया का ये जो पार्ट है आपको बहुत अच्छा लगा होगा. सर का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. बहुत ही इंसाइटफुल कन्वर्सेशन था और लगा कि बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी जो शायद हमने पढ़ते हुए भी नहीं समझी, सर ने बहुत अच्छे से समझा दी. तो आशा करते हैं कि आपको भी ये प्रोग्राम इस प्रकार से अच्छा लगा होगा. आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. जुड़े रहिए स्टडी IQ IAS पे, लगातार सेशन सभी जारी हैं. थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू
सर.